All right. In this video, you're going to have an opportunity to try this on your own. Okay, on the screen, what you're going to see is a bunch of different questions that deal with finding the x and y intercepts. Now, you'll notice the instructions say if they exist. Here's what that means. If you have a formula that just has x or just has y, then one of the intercepts may not be there. If you don't know how to do that one, I'll do one of those for you in a minute. My suggestion, do the first 6 and see if you can get those. If you need some more practice, then after that you can try some of the others. So go ahead and pause the video. Try doing the first 6 just like we did in the last video. I'll come back in a minute. We'll see how you did. All right, let's see how we did on the video. Let me back it out real quick. And let's try, zoom in just a little bit. Let's start with number 1. 2x plus y plus 2 equals 0. Well, 2x plus y, got to move this over here, equals minus 2. Okay. Now remember, we're going to take x equals 0, so we're going to put in a 0, find out what that is. That means that disappears because 2 times 0 is 0. Y equals minus 2. We didn't have to work very hard on that one. There's 1 point. Is that an x or y intercept? If you go 0 and then down negative 2, that's a y intercept. So we got that one. This time let's do y equals 0. X, y is 0. So let's just work it again. 2x plus y equals minus 2. And let's put in y. Let's put that as a 0. So that's gone. So 2x equals minus 2. Divide by 2. Again, if I'm going too fast, pause the video and catch up to me before you go on. You have to divide by 2 to get rid of the 2's. Well, they disappear over here. So x equals negative 1 because I still have that negative sign. So negative 1. There's my x-intercept. If I had to graph it, I could do that very easily. I'd make a graph and I'd go to negative 1, 0, and I would go to 0, negative 2. And there's my line. That's what it would look like if I needed the graph, or if I needed to make sure that I was doing it correctly on my calculator. But pretty easy. That's how you do that one. Let's try number 2. Number 2 is a little bit tricky. Here's one of the ones that talks about if they exist. Y minus 2 equals 0. So y, I'm going to have to add the 2 to go to this side. Y equals 2. Well, what does that mean? Well, if you're missing a letter, in this case we're missing an x, then that means there's no intercept for x. X-intercept? None. Y-intercept? It's going to be 2. So your y-intercept, which is going to be at 0, 2. So what that means on a graph, move that number here for a second, 0, 2, you notice it says y is a 2, so x, y is a 2. If I graph that, y is a 2, 1, 2, that line's going to look like that. It never crosses the x. That's why there's no x. It doesn't run into the x. That's why there's none. So 0, 2, y, and so here's how that happens. If you have a formula that doesn't have an x or a y, that's what happens. So what do you think would happen if you had x equals 2? If you had x equals 2, then it would be 1, 2. It'd be this line right here. Never crosses the y. Okay? So you wouldn't have a y-intercept on this one. So that's one of those that does not exist. Let's try one more. See if we're getting it right. Let's do number 3. Y equals 2x minus 3. And we can leave them where they are if we want. X equals 0. So we're going to go with 0. What answer do we get? If we put in a 0, that goes away. Y equals minus 3. Alright? And so if I do y equals 0, start the formula again. Y equals 2x minus 3. If I have y equals 0, that's a 0. Then I have to do a little bit of work. 2x minus 3. And remember, we always have letters on this side, so I'm going to have to subtract it over here. minus 2x equals minus 3. We do that again. Since this is a 0 equals 2x, I have to have the letters on one side, so I subtract it over. So minus 2x equals negative 3. Divide by negative 2. My answer, negative divided by negative is a positive. X equals 3 halves. So 3 halves, 0. How do I know this? Well, if y equals 0, if this is x and y, it says y is 0, put it there. I already solved it. There's the other. Now you have multiples left on here that you can try. Some of them may not exist. Some of them will. Just plug the values in. Look, for example, at number 7. There's only an x. So that means you're not going to have a y-intercept. It's not going to cross the y because you don't have that variable. So that'll give you one to try and make sure you can get that one. Try those. If you're struggling, ask your teacher. See if you can get a little help. And good luck with these. And if you are struggling, ask your teacher. Make sure you get these. This is getting x and y intercepts for a line. We're doing great. Keep it up. Work hard.